This is Breaking the Mould, our regular look at the financial markets with Investment Director Russ Mould. Russ, how are you?
Very well, Clara. How are you? It's lovely to have you back, by the way.
Good to be back, and I'm very well indeed.
Good, I'm pleased to hear it.
I've been away for a little while, so
Yes.
I'm dying to know. Russ, what's the fuss?
Okay, well, there's all sorts of scheduled events, big cap, small cap, macro coming up in the next couple of weeks. But for me, the fuss is going to be all about three things. Interim results from BHP Billiton, maiden full year results from biopharmaceutical company Circassia, and a little bit of a smattering of some US macro stuff as well.
Okay, so let's start off with FTSE 100 company BHP Billiton.
Broken Hill Properties, as it used to be known for you trivia fans out there, one of the world's biggest silver mines originally. Now, it's diversified beyond silver. It is still, though, however, one of the world's biggest mining companies, metals companies and petroleum firms, and BHP Billiton reports interim numbers on Tuesday, the 24th of February. Now, January's trading update provided a little bit of commentary on production, because 8 operations and 5 commodities actually reached record output levels. So it'll be fascinating to see what happens now in terms of the mixture of price versus volume, because as we all know, oil, copper, coal and lots of other big commodities that BHP is involved in, their prices have been going down. So let's see rising output versus lower costs and falling prices, see how they balance out in terms of the actual numbers themselves. Now the figures are going to be a bit messy. There's a $250 million impairment charge relating to some of the petroleum assets. But as a benchmark for the full year, remember these are interims, the market's looking for earnings per share to come in around 40% lower because of those dramatic commodity price cuts. That's at around 99 pence a share for the year to June 2015. Now, there are also, for real detail fans, 4 other things people need to watch for. Any comment on capital expenditure? We've already heard from Rio Tinto talking about big capex cuts for 2015. Last year, BHP spent about 15 billion bucks. 2, the scale of cutbacks in its oil business. It's already planning a reduction in rigs from 26 to 16, so let's see if it goes any lower. 3, the dividend income, biggest topic obviously. Rio's hiked its shareholder reward by around 12% and launched a new $2 billion share buyback program. So that's a bit of a benchmark. And fourthly and finally, the proposed spin-off of a new company called 32 South, because of where they're all based in the globe. That will contain aluminium, nickel, silver, coal and manganese businesses, effectively undoing the 2001 merger between BHP and Billiton. Full details on that are due out in March, with a shareholder vote scheduled for May. Now, of all of those, dividends probably the big one, let's face it. For the full year, the market's looking for around 70p a share. That's a yield of around 4.5% at the share price as we sit here today. Now, that might not get growth junkies all excited, but income hunters might take a second look, providing they feel BHP's capex cuts and cash flow and capex cuts mean that forecast is reliable. If so, it might start to provide some support to the shares, which, let's face it, as the chart shows, have hardly covered themselves in glory.
Right, so let's switch from hole digging to allergies.
Yeah, now Circassia is a fascinating company, and even though it's got a market cap of around 450 million quid, it's classified as a FTSE small cap stock. Now, it floated in March 2014 when it was spun out of quoted intellectual property incubator Imperial Innovations at 310 pence a share. Now, after a good start, as the share price will show in a minute, the shares have actually come off to around the 250p mark, as we can see right here. Now, to me, that's a bit of a surprise because the biotech sector worldwide has been hotter than hot for the last 2 or 3 years. So let's see what management, or Circassia's management, got to say alongside its first full year figures as a public concern, and they're due out on Friday the 27th. Now, Circassia, lots of promising treatments, doesn't actually sell anything in a minute, doesn't have any revenue, so some people might think that market cap's a bit high, but it will be making a loss. So in the end, once you dig below those headline numbers, again, 3 things to watch for: the cash pile, which was £190 million at the end of October. Secondly, how much of that they're spending on a sort of monthly or run rate basis, so we know how long it's going to last. And thirdly, how that important pipeline of drug treatments is coming along. It is developing treatments for allergies, as you said, cats, dust mites, grass, ragweed, so some very uncomfortable things. And it's got 1 drug at phase 3 and another couple at stage 2. So investors will be looking toward if and when the regulator gives them clearance that they can actually start selling those products to customers and actually start generating some revenues.
Well, I'll tell you what, Russ, I'm looking forward to when they do manage to do that.
Are you a sufferer?
Yeah, I'm a sufferer from quite a few of those different allergies, so that's good. To finish off, let's switch then from small cap drug firm to the world's biggest economy. US macro, yeah, there's lots of macro coming up, particularly from America, and it is the globe's economic engine. So let's look at the Richmond Manufacturing Index and the Case-Shiller House Price Index on the 24th, but the biggie is going to be durable goods on the 26th. Now, the order trend here has been quite soft in the past 3 or 4 months. They've actually been down month on month
even if still increasing year on year. Now, it's a noisy, volatile number. You'll see some big spikes on the charts behind me, so don't get too worked up by 1 month's number, but the market will be looking for a return to growth after 4 month-on-month declines in the past 5.
Okay, Russ, thank you very much.
Pleasure, thank you.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you very soon indeed. Goodbye.